I locked my paycheck the same way I locked everything else in my life, quietly, without making a scene. And for 3 whole days, nobody noticed. Then my father stood in the doorway of the kitchen, voice sharp, louder than I'd heard it in years, and said, "What did you do to our money?" I didn't answer right away. I just kept stirring my coffee like I hadn't heard him at all. Because the truth was, that moment had been coming for a long time. And I'd been waiting for it. 3 months earlier, I was still handing over my paycheck like clockwork. Every Friday. Same routine. I'd get paid, stop by the bank, withdraw most of it, and leave the envelope on the kitchen counter. My father would pick it up later like it was just another bill being handled. No thank you. No acknowledgement. Just, expected. We called it, helping the family. That's what he liked to say whenever anyone asked why a grown man with a full-time job was still living at home and contributing more than half his income. Family sticks together, he'd say, clapping me on the shoulder like I should feel proud. And for a while, I did. At least, I told myself I did. But there's a difference between helping and being used. And that line gets real blurry when you grow up in a house where respect is measured by how much you give, and how little you ask for in return. My father, Carl, had this way of filling a room without saying much. Tall, always standing straight, voice low but firm. People listened to him. He'd built his construction business from nothing, and he made sure everyone knew it. Every story, every dinner conversation somehow circled back to how hard he'd worked, how much he'd sacrificed. And to be fair, he had. But somewhere along the way, that story became a kind of currency. Something he used to justify everything else. Including how he treated me. "Don't spend stupid," he'd say if he saw anything new. "Keep your head down. You're not special. Money's not yours until it's stable." That last one stuck. Because somehow, in his mind, stable meant under his control. It wasn't just the money, though. It was the tone. The small things. Like how he'd introduce me to people. "This is my son. Still figuring things out." Even when I'd been working full-time for 2 years. Or how he'd correct me in front of others, like I was still a kid who needed guidance. "Let me handle it," he'd say, stepping in mid-sentence. And I'd just step back. Smile. Let it slide. Because arguing never got me anywhere. The only person who ever really called it out was Maya. We'd met at work. She handled logistics, sharp as a blade and twice as quick to spot nonsense. First time she came over, she noticed everything. Didn't say anything that night. But a week later, over coffee, she leaned back and said, "You know that's not normal, right?" I shrugged. "What?" "The envelope thing. The way he talks to you. All of it. It's just how he is." She gave me that look. The one that cuts through excuses. "Yeah," she said. "And this is just how you've learned to accept it." That didn't sit right. But I didn't argue. Because part of me knew she wasn't wrong. Things started shifting the day I overheard a conversation I wasn't supposed to hear. I came home early. Front door was open, voices drifting out from the living room. My father and my uncle. I wasn't even trying to eavesdrop, but then I heard my name. "He's consistent, I'll give him that," my uncle said. "Yeah," my father replied. "Easy to manage. Doesn't ask questions." They both laughed. Easy to manage. That phrase stuck harder than anything else. Not hardworking. Not dependable. Manageable. Like I was, an asset. Or worse, a tool. That night, I didn't say anything. Didn't confront him. Didn't bring it up. I just sat in my room, staring at the ceiling, replaying that moment over and over again. And for the first time, I wasn't just feeling frustrated. I was done. The shift wasn't loud. No dramatic confrontation. No big speech. Just a decision. I opened a new account the next morning. Separate. Private. Set up direct deposit. Changed my payroll details. Took all of 10 minutes. And just like that, my paycheck stopped passing through his hands. The first Friday came and went. No envelope on the counter. He didn't say anything. Second Friday. Still nothing. I almost thought he hadn't noticed. But then again, people like him don't miss things like that. They just wait. On the third Monday, I came home to find him sitting at the kitchen table. No TV on. No phone in hand. Just waiting. You forget something? He asked as I walked in. I set my keys down slowly. No. His eyes narrowed slightly. No envelope this week. Yeah, I said. I know. Silence stretched between us. Thick. Uncomfortable. He leaned back in his chair, studying me. So, he said. I met his gaze. Calm. Steady. I changed. How I handle my finances. He let out a short laugh, like I'd just made a joke that didn't land. You don't just change that. This is a system. A system I didn't agree to, I replied. That was the first time I'd ever said something like that to him. Out loud. And I could see it register. Not anger, not yet. Surprise. That's when he stood up. Walked around the table. Voice rising just enough to carry weight. What did you do to our money? There it was. Not your paycheck. Not your contribution. Our money. I exhaled slowly. It's not our money, I said. It's mine. And I've been giving it to you. That's different. His jaw tightened. You live under my roof. You eat my food. Don't twist this into something it's not. I'm not twisting anything, I said. I'm just stepping back. Stepping back, he repeated. From your responsibilities? From being managed. That hit. I saw it in the way his posture shifted, just slightly. He didn't like that word. Probably because it was too accurate. For a second, I thought he might blow up. Raise his voice. Turn it into a full scene. But he didn't. Instead, he went quiet. Which was worse? Someone's been talking to you, he said finally. I didn't respond. Didn't need to. Because he was right. But this wasn't about Maya. It was about me finally listening. You think you can handle everything on your own? He asked. I already am. Another pause. Then he shook his head, almost disappointed. Fine, he said. You want independence? You pay rent. Full share. Utilities, groceries, everything. I nodded. That's fair. I think that caught him off guard more than anything. He expected resistance. An argument. But I wasn't fighting. I was agreeing. On my terms. The next few weeks were different. Less talking. More distance. I paid my share. Kept my finances to myself. Started spending more time out. Less time in that house. And slowly, something shifted. Not just in him. In me. I stood straighter. Spoke more directly. Didn't default to silence every time he made a comment. And he noticed. Of course he did. One night, we were having dinner. Just the two of us. He looked at me for a long moment, then said, "You think I was trying to control you?" I set my fork down. "I think you got used to it," I said. And I got used to letting you. That landed softer than I expected. He didn't argue. Didn't dismiss it. Just sat there. I did what I thought was right, he said after a while. I know, I replied. But that doesn't mean it was. Another pause. Less tense this time. More honest. We didn't fix everything that night. Didn't suddenly become close. But something changed. The dynamic. The balance. A week later, he handed me a small envelope. I raised an eyebrow. What's this? Your first rent receipt, he said, almost dry. I opened it. Inside was a note. Not money. Just a single line, written in his rough handwriting. You're not easy to manage anymore. I looked up at him. And for the first time in a long time, he wasn't looking down at me. He was meeting me eye to eye. I folded the note carefully. Slipped it back into the envelope. Yeah, I said. That's kind of the point. And this time, when I walked out of the room, I didn't feel like I was leaving something behind. I felt like I was finally stepping into something that had been mine all along.